Now, I want to talk to you about the neutralizing process. The neutralizing process when you're neutralizing a box perm. Doesn't matter what kind of box perm you're using. If you're Asian and you're having frizzy hair, you can get a box perm, a mild, and it will work on your hair. Or if you are white and you have mixed children, they can use a small box perm to soften up the tight frizzy curl, and that's going to help. But what we're going to do is talk to you about the neutralizing process. See, when you neutralize the hair, most people will tell you that, oh, your hair is breaking off because you're on some medicine. Or then they even come and tell you, well, girl, what type of wrap are you putting in your hair? Maybe you're sleeping funny with that. That's a bunch of, what do they call it? A riff, riff raff. Okay, so we're going to talk about this neutralizing process and why you have to neutralize your hair very well. When you're putting on a relaxer, it doesn't matter what type of neutralizer that you're using. There's a lot of different type of neutralizer shampoos that neutralize box perms. Well, I know you're saying, well, it already has a neutralizing shampoo in there. Well, that's not enough. Let me explain to you why. And I'll move down and show you. There are several different others that you can get inside of your beauty supply. You have the Isoplus. They have a neutralizing shampoo that's very good. Now, what I want to explain to you, the process of putting on a relaxer. When you put on a relaxer, it has a pH balance, okay? That pH balance is hot on the hair. So it opens up the cuticle shaft so that the chemical can go inside of the cuticle shaft and, let's say, uh, soften up the hair or straighten the bond so it can be a straight relaxer. Okay, now what happens when you're dealing with a small amount of relaxer inside of uh, your box perm? uh, Sometimes that's not enough because, see, once you rinse out a relaxer, you want to make sure that depending on the texture of your hair, okay, you got fine, you got medium to fine, you got medium texture of hair, and then you have a coarse texture of hair. On the coarse texture of hair, the neutralizing process should be for about 20 minutes. Okay, on a medium texture of hair, the neutralizing process would be about 15 minutes. And on a medium to fine or a fine texture of hair, if you're putting on a box perm relaxer, uh, the neutralizing process should be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Now, what do I mean when I say the neutralizing process? The neutralizing process is a process where once you rinse the relaxer out, before you go in and you start really scrubbing, you want to make sure you get a nice size bottle because it's not enough neutralizer in there, and a lot of you guys are still activated once you rinse your relaxer out. So you want to take a nice big bottle of neutralizing shampoo, and you can use a lot. That first, once you rinse it out, that first process that you're going to do is put the neutralizing shampoo on there. You want to put it on there real heavy. You want to maybe wash it, kind of scratch it, wash it for about, oh, maybe 30 or 40 seconds, and then put some more in your hand and rub it on there to where it's really thick. Maybe it should be easier if I explain it to you this way. Most of the people around the country have gone into Asian establishments or Sally's Beauty Supply, and they've getting relaxers and things or whatever it may be. Now, you know that a relaxer can make, if you put it on without gloves, it'll leave a real slickness on your finger. And those that have experienced that slickness from putting on a relaxer without gloves understand that it's kind of hard to get it off, right? Well, when you put on a relaxer, that goes inside of the cuticle shaft while it is straightening out the bond. Okay? Now what happens is that just like it sticks on your finger, it's sticking to the inside. It's like taking hot grease and pouring it into a sink of cold water. It sticks on the inside of there. Okay? Now, what neutralizing shampoo is made to do is to take that pH balance out of it, stop it from working. Okay, a lot of times you stop it from working when you go to your stylist and your stylist washes your hair. They rinse it out, rinse the relaxer out, or if you're at home, you rinse the relaxer out, and then you wash it twice and look for the pink or whatever that may be. And if you don't see no pink in the shampoo, then you're ready to rinse it out. You're good to go. that works, but you need some a little bit more because you're experiencing breakage and you're wondering why your hair keeps falling out every time you put on a relaxer, and it just seems like it's getting worse. Okay, well, you want to make sure the same way that thick slickness is on your finger, it's inside of your cuticle shaft. Neutralizing shampoo goes inside of the cuticle shaft, and you have to let that sit. Like we talked about the different times earlier for the different textures of the hair, depending on the texture. The neutralizing shampoo has to sit on the head that long, whether it's 10 to 5, I mean, yeah, 5 to 15 minutes, and you're going 20 minutes, and then on some, maybe even 30 minutes. If they have a lot of hair, then you may use a whole big bottle, of some 16. If they come in there with big wig, hair hanging down their back, and they want you to straighten out their relaxer, you're going to use a lot of neutralizing shampoo. And while they're in the bowl or while you're sitting at home, leave that neutralizing shampoo sitting on there. Let it sit, and then after it sits for the required time, then you rinse it out. Then you rinse it out. Okay. After you do that, you can go through your conditioning process. Okay. But when you rinse it out, you shampoo the hair twice after you rinse it out. Now you'll get all of the lye that is connected to the inside of the cuticle shaft that's really thick and causing a lot of times you'll get your hair done and you'll leave the salon and it's so pretty. They did a great job, but they didn't neutralize you properly after the relaxer. So now you're going out and you're still activated. It's still working. That's why you experiencing the brittleness, and because it's still working. A lot of times when people come to see me, I will always use a neutralizing shampoo one time before I even, on a regular washing style, because a lot of people are going to the beauty supplies, and they may have put on a relaxer the night before, and they are still activated because when you feel it, it's kind of tough and thick and all of that stuff like that, though. So. Explaining to you the neutralizing process, we're going to move on to the relaxer so I can show you that, and different relaxers that you can use for different textures of hair and how it's going to work for you. Once again, it doesn't matter if you're white or black or green or yellow. If you're a white or Asian or Hispanic or Bermuda, yeah, Bermuda. Amen. Doesn't matter your nationality. You can use these products if you're using color or anything like that. I would suggest that you do the same process if you're putting on a color like a Clairol or something like that. After you do the Clairol, you need to go through the neutralizing process. Depending on if you're using a box color, if you're going into Walmart or beauty supplies, you want to make sure even after a color. Not a rinse. That's different. Rinses are different. We're talking about a color where you have to use developer, 10, 20, 30, and in some cases 50, or you may use some highlighter to lifting it. But we'll go into those processes a little bit later. But if you're doing a bleach on your hair or anything like that, after you do that, you want to use a neutralizing shampoo at least one time, and you can go back in with your moisturizing shampoo of choice. All right. All right. Thank you for stopping in, and I had a great time talking to you about products. Hope you learned a lot. Bye.